Welcome to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley, your resident talking head. In this episode, we're going to talk about this little guy. The Thypoch Simera 35mm f1.4. I believe this is version 2. Haven't tried version 1, but I've been super keen to try out these Thypoch lenses ever since I've seen them kind of hit the scene. Okay, let's break this down. Let me tell you the specs. It's got an aperture of 1.4 to f16. I have the Leica M-mount, and we're going to talk about that. It also comes in an E-mount, an RF mount, and a Z-mount. Angle of view is 64 degrees. It's manual focus, of course. The minimum focus distance is 1.3 feet. We're going to talk about that too. Pretty cool. Optical design, 9 elements in 5 groups. Aperture iris blades, 14 iris blades. Filter size, 49mm, pretty small. The weight, it's 11.5 ounces. The price, $749 US. I have always been kind of traditionally a 50mm like as my walk around everyday lens, but you know, since I owned a Leica Q2 a few years ago and just used that exclusively for several years, 28mm, it really sort of rewired my brain, and now I'm kind of obsessed with 35mm lenses. I love the 35mm focal length. It has become my kind of go-to walk around focal length. I do own a few. I own a Voigtlander color scope bar. That's a 2.5. I also own the 1.2 from Voigtlander, and I own a Lumix autofocus L-mount 35mm. It's like a 1.8. It's pretty cool, light little lens. It's actually on the camera I'm filming myself with right now. I'm always interested in collecting lenses that are M-mount because they're adaptable to about anything else, and I own a Leica M6, which is kind of my favorite all-time camera. So M-mount lenses for me are very versatile. I love the short focus throw of rangefinder lenses. I just like that. Zip, zip, zip. They're very quick, and I like working with manual lenses. Yeah, these are cool. You can adapt M-mount lenses to about anything. I have this L-mount adapter from Metabones, and I really like it. It's very solid and stable. I've had this for a number of years. Pretty tight, cool little package. Look, if you follow my channel, you know when I review something, I'm not shooting charts. I'm not zooming in and pixel peeping. What I do is I take the darn lens or the camera or whatever's I'm reviewing. I just go out and I make stuff and then I talk about it. So what did I do the minute I got this? I just went for a walk. Every morning I walk around the neighborhood and I always carry a camera and I always take pictures. I love this 65:24 aspect ratio. I've got my own LUT applied to these in camera. You can do that with Lumix, and there's a little bit of grain on the image, so you're not actually seeing the sharpness that is possible with this lens. But I really love the character right out of the gate. A few more walk around shots. This is the internal Leica monochrome profile. I love the close focusing ability of this lens. The focus tab, you can go all the way to close focus, and then there's just a little bit of tension and boom, you can pop in even closer. This is so cool for applying on a digital camera. I love it. Right away, I just noticed it's like the perfect amount of tension on the aperture and on the focus. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. It's really, they've got the tension and the resistance finely tuned, and it feels smooth. It feels premium. This is a quality feeling lens right out of the gate. Next, I go over to a vintage car gathering, and I'm really taking advantage of the close focusing ability of this M-mount lens. I don't really get to shoot cars that often. It's not kind of my thing. I'm a people person. I'm a people photographer mostly, but it's a lot of fun just trying to make shots with these vintage cars. Next, I go visit an old buddy of mine, Bo, who's in a music studio recording a record, and this is a lot of fun. This is a vintage, pretty old recording studio in North Hollywood. Apparently, legend has it that both Madonna and Michael Jackson have recorded vocals in this very studio. I just spent a few hours with my buddy Bo, producer Andrew, and guitar player vocalist Lawrence, and I'm just kind of hanging out with these dudes as they're recording an album, taking some shots. If I could do this kind of shooting every day, I would love it. I love being around artists, especially musicians. I love photographing musicians. This small little lens and the close focusing ability, the 1.4 in this very, very dim studio is a very, very handy tool. Pretty stoked about these shots I got in the studio with the Thypoch 35mm. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple people shots. Now these are from upcoming videos, so if you like these, you're going to see mostly the digital versions of these shots coming up in some future videos. But this is my friend Corey in my studio, and I shot her. In addition to digital photos, I shot her with my M6 and the Thypoch 35mm. Here's a couple shots. Now I'm stopping way down on the lens so we have a much wider depth of field. That's just A, so I don't miss focus, but B, it's also practical because the M6 only has 1,000th of a second maximum shutter speed. So if I don't use ND, I'm gonna have to stop down because it's still pretty bright down there and I want a real dark contrasty image. I probably had this thing at like an f8 or an f11, something like that. Really stoked about these gritty shots, really stoked about the rendering from the Thypoch. Next, I'm gonna take you to a shoot with my friend Jenna. This is coming up, there's gonna be a whole video, and this is one of my favorite shoots maybe of all time. I can't wait for you to see the whole video, but here are a few film shots I got again with the M6. It's actually the back half of the same roll that I shot Corey with. It's Kentmere 100, I think, is the film I was using. Pretty inexpensive, 100 speed film, so it's, you know, it's really good in bright sunlight. That's why I chose it. Here's a few shots of Jenna, and these are kind of vintage, fashion-y inspired images. I kind of wanted to play off of like the 90s era, Peter Lindbergh-esque fashion type shots. Stoked about the vibe. Can't wait for you to see the whole shoot. So, thoughts. What do we think of this little guy? I love this lens. I am stoked about it. I would actually love to try the other focal lengths, the 75, the 50. What I want to try the most are the cine versions of these. And I haven't done any motion with this yet, but I think that the cine versions are just rehoused, same optical, same glass, also an M-mount. So I'm definitely going to shoot some video on this thing soon. I love shooting video on M-mount lenses because they're so small. I like the fast focus throw. Just as a solo operator, yes, you have to be precise, but you can snap to different places really quick. I'm comfortable working that way. I like it. I think this lens is really cool. There's a lot of Chinese companies coming onto the market and with a lot of different options in all different mount lenses, and Thypoch is really interesting. I really like what they're doing, and I really like the craftsmanship. Again, they did send me this lens. I'm reviewing it. They haven't seen the review beforehand. No money change place. I'm not even sure if I get to keep this. Haven't talked to them since they sent it. I don't know if they're gonna want it back. I kind of hope I get to hang on to it because I really like this lens and I'm going to use it a lot. Pretty cool little lenses. Hope I get to try the cine versions at some point. Hey, there's a link below. If you use the link, you get 5% off if you want to try one of these lenses. So check it out. I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. Many more portrait shoots coming up. I've been busy.